What if you were one of the most powerful beings in the universe, but no matter how far you traveled, you could never escape your past? What if every star in the sky reminded you of everything you had lost? This is the story of Kara Zor-El, the story of Supergirl, a hero born from tragedy, a survivor haunted by memories, and a warrior searching for meaning in a galaxy that often feels cold and unforgiving. Unlike her famous cousin Superman, Kara remembers Krypton. She remembers the cities, she remembers the people, she remembers the day everything ended. And those memories have shaped every decision she has ever made. This is not a simple superhero adventure. This is a cosmic journey across the stars, a tale of revenge, justice, loss, and redemption. And by the end of this story, Supergirl will discover that being a hero is not about strength. It's about choosing hope when darkness seems inevitable. Long before Earth ever knew the name Supergirl, Kara Zor-El lived on Krypton, a magnificent world filled with towering crystal cities and advanced technology. Krypton was a civilization unlike any other. For generations, its people believed their world would last forever. But they were wrong. Scientists warned that Krypton's core was becoming unstable. The planet was dying, yet many leaders refused to listen. They dismissed the warnings, ignored the evidence, and continued living as though nothing was wrong. Among those who understood the danger were Kara's parents. They knew disaster was coming, and they knew they had little time left. As tremors shook the planet and chaos spread across cities, preparations began. A desperate plan, a final chance for survival. Kara would be sent away from Krypton, away from everything she had ever known. Her mission was simple: protect her younger cousin, Kal-El, the child who would one day become Superman, but fate had other plans. As Krypton collapsed, Kara's journey became far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. Years passed. The destruction of Krypton remained a wound that never healed. Unlike Kal-El, who grew up surrounded by love on Earth, Kara remembered everything, every face, every voice, every moment. She remembered friends who never escaped, family members who vanished in the catastrophe, entire cities erased forever. No amount of distance could silence those memories. Every night she dreamed of Krypton. Every morning she woke to the same painful reality. She was one of the last survivors, and surviving came with a terrible burden. Guilt. Why had she lived when so many others had died? Why was she given powers while her people were gone? The questions haunted her. There were no answers. Only endless stars and endless loneliness. Instead of settling down, Kara chose to travel. She wandered from world to world, planet to planet, system to system, always moving, always searching for purpose, searching for peace, searching for something that could fill the emptiness inside her. Her only constant companion was Krypto, the loyal superdog. Together they crossed distant galaxies. They visited thriving civilizations, dangerous frontiers, forgotten worlds, and places where hope seemed impossible. Yet no matter where Kara went, she never truly felt at home, because home was gone, destroyed long ago. One day everything changed. On a remote world, Kara encountered a young girl named Ruthie. At first glance, Ruthie seemed ordinary, but behind her eyes burned a fire, a determination stronger than steel, a desire for revenge. Ruthie's father had been murdered. The killer was a ruthless criminal known throughout the stars. Krem of the Yellow Hills. A man feared by countless worlds, a predator who left suffering wherever he went. Most people were too afraid to pursue him, but not Ruthie. She wanted justice, or perhaps something darker. Revenge. And she would stop at nothing to get it. Kara understood pain. She understood loss, perhaps better than anyone. That's why she couldn't simply walk away. Against her better judgment, she agreed to help Ruthie. What began as a simple act of compassion soon became a dangerous mission. Together they followed clues across the galaxy. Each lead brought them closer to Krem, but every step also brought new dangers. Mercenaries, pirates, alien warlords, and criminals eager to eliminate anyone who stood in their way. The hunt had begun. Krem was more than a murderer. He was a symbol of everything wrong with the galaxy. Cruel, greedy, merciless. He exploited the weak, destroyed families, and escaped justice time after time. The deeper Kara investigated, the more horrifying stories she uncovered. Entire communities had suffered because of him. Countless victims had never received justice. For Ruthie, the mission became personal. For Kara, it became a responsibility. If someone possessed the power to stop evil, didn't they have an obligation to act? The answer seemed obvious, but reality was never simple. As the journey continued, Ruthie became increasingly obsessed. Every setback fueled her anger. Every delay strengthened her desire for vengeance. Kara began to worry, because she recognized the signs. She had felt those same emotions herself. The temptation to let rage take control. The temptation to answer violence with violence. The temptation to believe revenge could heal pain. But revenge never truly heals anything. It only creates more suffering. And Kara feared Ruthie was heading toward a dangerous path. The hunt eventually attracted unwanted attention. Powerful enemies began closing in. Bounty hunters tracked their movements. Criminal syndicates wanted them dead. Entire armies stood between them and their goal. For the first time in years, Kara was forced to unleash the full extent of her powers. Battles erupted across alien landscapes. Mountains shattered. Ships exploded. And the skies themselves seemed to tremble. Yet every victory came with consequences. Every battle pushed Ruthie further toward darkness. And every conflict reminded Kara of Krypton, of destruction, of loss, of everything she wished she could forget. At the darkest moment of the journey, Kara finally confronted the truth. She had spent years running from grief, running from guilt, running from herself. But pain ignored never truly disappears. It waits, and eventually demands to be faced. For the first time, Kara allowed herself to mourn, not as a hero, not as a survivor, simply as Kara, a daughter, a friend, a refugee from a world that no longer existed. And in accepting her pain, she discovered something unexpected. Strength. The hunt finally came to an end. Krem stood before them, the man responsible for so much suffering, the man Ruthie had sworn to kill. The confrontation was explosive. A battle unlike anything they had faced before. Power clashed against power. Chaos erupted. The fate of innocent lives hung in the balance. At last, Krem was defeated. But the true challenge remained. What would happen next? Would Ruthie surrender to vengeance or choose a different path? The moment arrived, the choice that would define everything. Ruthie could take revenge. She could end Krem's life. She could satisfy the anger she had carried for so long. But would it bring peace? Would it bring back her father? Would it heal the pain? Deep down, she already knew the answer. No, because revenge cannot restore what has been lost. Only acceptance can. Only healing can. Only hope can. And with Kara's guidance, Ruthie made her choice. The journey was over, but Kara had changed. No longer was she a lonely traveler drifting through space. No longer was she defined by tragedy. She had discovered a new purpose, a reason to keep moving forward. Not because the pain was gone, but because she had learned to live with it, to transform it, to become something greater, a hero, a protector, a symbol of hope, just like her cousin, yet uniquely herself. And so Supergirl's story continues, across countless stars, across endless worlds, wherever people need help, wherever darkness threatens to prevail. Kara Zor-El will be there, not because she is perfect, not because she is fearless, but because she understands what it means to lose everything and still choose hope. That is the true power of Supergirl.